Welcome to the CURES digital show and podcast, where we explore the cutting edge of wellness. Today's episode is sponsored by the Center for Advanced Reproductive Services, and I'm Kara Sundlin. So we certainly know the ills of social media. We talk about that a lot. But what about engaging with your spirit while you scroll? We're talking about how you could actually use social media for self-care. So from mastering the brain to quitting all that overthinking and getting into a Zen state of mind, you can find some of the answers you're looking for on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. So here to talk more about this are wellness coaches Bryant and Frank Elleridi. Thank you so much for being with us, guys.
Hey, thank you for having us.
So you guys are the co-founders of Modern Nirvana Summit and also the co-authors of the Modern Nirvana Oracle deck. We'll get to that in a little while. I love pulling cards. Everyone will tell you I like to pull my cards each day. But yeah, there we go. So, Frank, let me just start with you. We hear so much about if we want to improve our mental health, stay off of social media. Modern Nirvana is doing something different. And then on Self-Care Sunday, you guys are actually guiding people through meditations, through breath work, and really making self-care a positive part of social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, with Kat and Bryant and myself, the co-founders of Modern Nirvana, we have so many younger followers who would DM us and say, I'm having anxiety, or I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. So we thought, why not every Sunday we'll share something that we do. And so, for example, it might be something as simple or superficial as a skincare routine, but it feels good, you're taking care of yourself. Or it can be a meditation, or, Kat does a lot of affirmations that she'll lead her fans through, and Bryant will lead a breath work. So it was just kind of our thing where it's like, okay, we know there's a lot coming at you at once. At least, every Sunday at noon Eastern, you can go on Modern Nirvana, and we're going to lead something that's a little more centering.
Yeah. And Bryant, talk a little bit about breath work for those who aren't familiar with it, or kind of what we can do as we follow along.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone that's not familiar with breathwork, I'm truly honored to be the one to bring this into your awareness. Breathwork is one of the most effective tools to control the stress in your body, to control your heart rate, your blood pressure, your emotions. Anytime you have an emotional reaction to anything, that affects your breathing pattern. And when you shift your breathing pattern, that can affect your emotional state. So it's really how you regulate your nervous system and show up in every moment in a way that feels best to you. And there's a concept called the window of tolerance, and you're able to navigate your stress levels, your arousal state, just by regulating your breathing pattern and your meditative awareness.
Yeah, and the window of tolerance, certainly, if anyone's done any therapy, it's a therapy program. Like, just, all of us have a different window of tolerance, but sometimes your window of tolerance is very little because you're just very stressed or anxious. And if you could show us a little bit, I know what you do on Instagram is you teach. So for those who might be watching this on YouTube or listening in the car, tell us a little bit about maybe something quick we can do when we start to feel that hypervigilant state, that anxious state.
Beautiful. So anytime we're in fight or flight, the first thing to ask ourselves is, what does our body need? Do you need a hug? Do you need water? Do you need sleep? Be really mindful of what the body needs. And immediately when you're like, all right, my body needs nothing, then the middle brain can calm down and you can come back into the present moment. And then when you're hyper aroused, what you want to do is slow down and access the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, reset, digest. And the way that you do that is a deep belly breath and focusing on the exhalation. So you want to ground the body. And that looks just a breathing in through the nose, slowing down, exhaling through the mouth as slow as you can, and slowing your brain waves down. Release. Care, you're amazing. You're so good. I love it. And then inhale.
I feel it.
All in one breath, you feel it, right? And there's these little steps that you do, and vice versa. When you're in freeze, when your body tenses up, when your blood pressure lowers and you don't know what to do because you're trying to survive, what you need to do is then arouse yourself. Right? So you use an activating breath to activate the sympathetic, and it's a faster paced inhalation, exhalation through the mouth or nose.
So if you're waking up sluggish and feeling tired, you could use it the reverse. We always hear, take a deep breath when you're stressed, but it could also give you kind of like coffee, a little jolt if you need to.
Exactly. I call this breath puppy panting, and all you do is you smile as wide as you can. You breathe in and out through the nose as fast as you can, and it releases the oxytocin, the endorphins, and the serotonin throughout the body, and it really changes your state very quickly.
Yeah, as a
So
mom
good.
of two teens now, my son just turned 13, so I now I have two teens. I'll try and say this sometimes, and I think that, it might go one ear out the other. And I love that you guys are reaching a younger audience in a way that, right now we know there's a mental health crisis. We just reported that in our newscast a moment ago about teens and going back to school and even younger. Frank, are you noticing that younger people are taking to this and they're realizing that they have tools in their toolbox to handle all that's being thrown at them?
Yeah, big time. And it's little by little, and I came from a world of journalism as well. And I was doing, lots of national news about these mental health crises, or if there was a breaking news mass shooting, I was there. And I realized I didn't want to do that anymore. And what I wanted to do is give people the tools that I was using in my personal life, because when I was not working, I was, traveling the world and meeting shamans and healers and all these, breathwork masters. And so part of that is sharing what I learned in a way that's kind of relatable. And, little by little, we meet people where they're at. So if we have a very young audience, maybe we'll do a certain breath work. If we have a little more experienced yogis, we'll do something else. And but I do notice from the DMs that I get, like the little messages of people saying, oh, hey, I just want you to know I had a test last week and I did this little affirmation you gave me or my breath work and it really helped. Like little stories like that really go a long way, because I think it's showing them that ultimately they have the power and you are in control of how you feel. You are in control of how you think. And it's so easy to get lost in that when the world is throwing so much at you. But as long as you remember that you're in control, trust your intuition, the answer, what to do, I think that gives them a feeling of like, okay, I've got this.
Yeah, and I think, we talk about the ills of social media. We've certainly done lots of segments on CURES about trying to limit screen time for younger people, encourage them to get off their phones, all of that, and how that can increase anxiety. But in a way, because you're doing this, you guys are very experienced and you have lots of knowledge, but you're also younger and hip and cool. And so Modern Nirvana is doing this in a way that we can get people to maybe make it digestible, right? Like it doesn't seem like I'm going to, I don't know, my therapy office that I don't want to go to. It's like, okay, I can do this at home and feel cool as I do this.
Totally, yeah. And then we're also showing them the other side of that too, right? Like Bryant still takes amazing pictures. Kat is like in New York right now doing New York Fashion Week. So they kind of see that doing meditation or taking care of yourself doesn't have to be like something that is boring or that, you're going to lose your personality. You can still do fun things. Like we still have fun all the time.
Yeah.
And I think they see that on our social media. And then this is just like one part of our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's great. It's true. It's, my parents might tease me like, oh, it's so boring to meditate. But so you guys are showing them that, right, Brian, that breath work is cool.
Breathwork is cool. It's cool to breathe. It's cool to feel great. It's cool to make the world a better place,
Yeah.
I just had a flashback of, sorry, Carrie, he was, Brian did a Netflix show, The Circle, and somebody was like, one of the other contestants was like, you're a breathwork teacher. Like, don't we all know how to breathe? Why do you have to teach people how to breathe? Like, don't we do that naturally?
Right. And it's like, well, yeah, we do, but we do it wrong, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, talk a little bit about that. I know you guys have done so much and really like traveling the world, working with mystics, working with Sufis, working with all this. But Bryant, start with you. Tell me a little bit about your other world when you're not teaching breath work. What makes you cool, as the young kids like to say?
Oh, wow. Thank you for asking that. I would say what makes me cool is my kindness. I think it's the main thing that I it's hard to explain, but it's like in every moment, how I do anything is how I do everything. And I really try to make this world a little bit of a better place just by being in good energy. Mm-hmm. And I realized that, me saying hi to the person that's working at the store and checking in on how they're doing, me like smiling at the person walking in the street, that's the significance of my work in the world. And really it's what's making me cool, like a cool person. And I think that's going to really be the primary thing that how I change the world is just by my state of being and how I am in life itself.
Yeah, but you actually are a master breathwork instructor. You're a certified priest. Do I have that right?
Yeah, certified priest. I have like 5 certifications. I got really into certifications for a while.
Yeah, and so you are a certified mental health consultant too, and I know, Frank, even though you've we've seen you, congrats, I see the Emmys behind you and all that. We've certainly seen you on TV or on screen, but you've also done a lot of quote unquote the work, and have really taken this to a level where you can teach others as well. But I'm sure it must help that you have that way of connecting through TikTok and Instagram in a visual way, so people want to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, I think that all that background of anything I've done on screen has just helped me become a better storyteller. And, so for example, like on the Modern Nirvana YouTube channel, I get to share some of these incredible experiences that I have, or if I'm going to go meet like some incredible guru, I get to share that, but not just share it in a way, because I think that I notice a lot of people on YouTube will have these incredible videos, but they don't really get any views or traction. And it's because the storytelling is not there. So I think I've really learned how, through my past, telling stories on TV, was able to now bring this like passion of mine, and really cool things happening around the world, like people tapping into their superhuman abilities through meditation, and then showing that in a way that's like storytelling, and captivating and engaging. So that's kind of my passion.
Yeah, and you get to be a guinea pig for some of these things, which I consider myself similar in that when we are on CURES and I'm interviewing Deepak Chopra about how to do something, we get to learn and see. And the idea is that you can make this practical. I think as a journalist, that's sort of what we're always doing, is trying to boil this down for people. But Modern Nirvana has become a place where you could go on TikTok or Instagram and just kind of dip your toe in this, but really learn.
Yeah, and then beyond just social media, what we did with like the Modern Nirvana Summit, for example, which is in Austin, Texas on September 23rd, so it's coming up. We like wanted something that we always wanted to go to. So we bring people like Deepak Chopra and Dave Asprey, who created Bulletproof Coffee. He's our keynote speaker this year, and it's sponsored by this incredible, like, backed by science. There's double-blind studies, but it's a quantum field technology, this company called Lila Quantum, and they're our sponsors. So we get really cool companies like that, very amazing, like Ayurvedic hair care and skin care and natural foods and natural supplements and really cutting edge things like Brain Tap is this cool meditation brain fitness device, and we put it all in one place for people to come try. So yeah, it's like you get to be a guinea pig with us. You know what I mean? Like, come try it, experience it for yourself. And then, we created like the Oracle deck for people who maybe don't want to go on Instagram every Sunday. Maybe they are cutting out time, like, you talk about sometimes cutting down screen time. So then you have like the deck and you can just ask a question. I mean, we can pull a card for you.
Yeah, let's pull a card. I love cards. I have lots of decks, but and they can be as woo-woo as you want, or they can even be, from Louise Hay, just some positive affirmations. But I love the idea of, it's quick, it's easy. You're running around in the morning, you can pick a card and it can help center you. So talk to us about how Oracle cards work and show us one of yours.
Yeah, so some of them are, you're right, some of them are pretty woo-woo. Ours is a little more like lessons, like kind of like if you were in ancient Greece and you had a question, you would go visit the Oracle and she'd give you guidance, right? So this is the Modern Nirvana Oracle deck for people who are actually watching. If you're just listening, I'm holding it in my hand. It was written by, I was in Costa Rica actually in another ceremony, like a plant medicine ceremony, and I met this girl, Jen Sodini, who had the best-selling Amenti Oracle deck. And we were like, let's write one together. And that's how this deck was created. So the cards, Carrie, can people see this or are they just hearing?
They can see it on YouTube. And then on podcasts, we're just going to be hearing it. So
okay, good.
kind
so
of
these
everywhere.
Cards are really, really beautiful. They were illustrated by Natalie Miller. And I can pull a card for you and I'll show you a little bit of how it works. Do you have a certain question in mind, or do you want me to just pull a general card?
Well, let's see. The Zoom thing just came up, so we don't want to. Okay. Wait, I want to make sure we're mindful of time, but we'll end on this about my question. Okay. Well, we're celebrating season 16 on Great Day, Connecticut. We've launched CURES, and let's see. How are things going? How can we best lift people up with this work?
All right. Okay. And with that intention.
I love it.
Okay. Nice. This is great. So this card is called One. It's this beautiful card, and it's about oneness, right? And this one, so every single card was written by a different person. So this one was written by Kat Graham, our co-founder, and she writes, and I'll just summarize it for the sake of time, but she writes, Ubuntu is a Bantu term so it's an African term that recognizes the interconnectedness of humanity. I am one because we are, or quote, humanity toward others begs us to remember that the needed nature of our humanness is linked. So basically, just remember when you're doing this work that we're all one, we're all together. Remember your power and deep connection to everything and everyone, and allow that awareness to shine.
Perfect. I love it. I love you. So that's great. So we can follow everyone. Love you too.
Love you too.
So real quick, Frank, just we've got September 23rd, and people can go on modernnirvana.com. They can also find the cards there, or Instagram is modern.nirvana. Is that right?
Yes, that's all right. Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you. Are you coming?
I think I need to come. I'm going to email you later. Maybe I can help you out.
Please do, yes. And you can come see, we'll have a dinner the night before and it'll be great.
Okay. All right. I might have to join you virtually because I'm here, but like it's great that's the great thing. We can bring people from all over the world.
For sure. Absolutely. What a cool show you're doing. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you want more inspiration, you can follow Kara's Cures on Instagram, on Facebook. Just follow me at Kara Sundlin. You can also listen to the podcast, which is Kara's Cures. Have a great day, everyone, and be well.